Hello, everybody, and welcome to something that is incredibly different for the Trasher Treasure channel, a podcast, because it was only a matter of time before we eventually got here. And joining me is my younger brother and also co-host streamer, Jude from Atomo Workshop.
Hello!
And today, for our very first podcast, we are going to be talking about the newly released Super Mario Brothers movie made by both Nintendo and Illumination. Now, so we're going to be doing a completely... not as completely spoiler-free, and in fact, we're going to be pretty spoiler-heavy throughout the entire thing, so this is your one and only warning now, just to basically let you know, so if you want to see the movie first and come back to us later, then please do so, because we would very much like the views, or I don't know what the equivalent is for podcasts, the listeners, I guess, listens?
Yeah, listens.
We need those listens, people.
We need them listens.
Yeah, we need them listens.
You've been warned. We're just gonna talk about just about everything.
Yes, we
movie.
are.
So, you better leave if you don't want spoilers.
Indeed. So around the time of this recording, Jude and I both saw the Super Mario Brothers movie in theaters about a week ago. By the time I finish editing this, it'll probably have been out for maybe a good couple weeks now at that point.
Today is the 15th of April for reference. I saw it this past Monday, and you saw it the Thursday before that. So
I saw
for you,
it was the Friday, actually. So I think like a couple days after the film came out.
So for you, about a week. For me, less than. But
yeah. So first of all, before we go into any of the nitty gritty stuff, we have a little bit of history with the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is actually not the first Mario Brothers movie, as I'm sure we are all very well aware of. There was one in 1993 starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, and was fully live action. I've seen it, but did you see it, Jude?
I did. I believe you and I might have watched it together.
Yeah, I imagine it was with riff tracks or something.
It was not good.
Yeah, it's pretty pitiful.
Apparently, I read this the other day. John Leguizamo refuses to watch this new one.
I actually just saw that earlier this morning. It's like, wow, petty much?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. A, petty, and B, like, you realize your one was awful, right? It's like. You don't have a leg to stand on here, Mr. Leguizamo.
I wonder if he's actually played the games or not, and he actually thought that was like a legit piece of art or something.
I don't know.
But yes, our thoughts on the original Mario movie, like many others, is highly negative, and it is barely feels like a Mario movie at all, outside of maybe the costumes at the very end, and we did get a bit of Bowser at the end as well. I forgot to mention, it also has the late Dennis Hopper as Bowser in it, or King Koopa, because I don't think he was quite known as Bowser when that movie came out. I think anyway, he might have been at that point, because I think Super Mario Brothers 3 had been out at that point.
Wasn't Peach still Princess Toadstool as well?
Yeah, she was still Princess Toadstool, I'm pretty sure, as well. So I think it must have been made like just when Mario 3 was in development, and Bowser and Princess Peach weren't quite household names just yet. But anyway, so the movie that just came out in 2023, that's actually the second adaptation of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Only this time, it actually has it's actually produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, the very creator of Mario, and as we said, also is done by Illumination. So I just got this little blurb here from Wikipedia, how reliable it is. How reliable it is, I'll let you be the judge of that. But anyway, it reads, because this movie has actually been in the works for quite a long while. It says, through Nintendo's work with Universal Parks and Resorts to create Mario-based attractions, later resulting in Super Nintendo World, Shigeru Miyamoto met Chris Meledandri, founder of Universal Pictures Illumination Animation Division. Miyamoto found Meledandri's creative process similar to his own, and he felt he would be the proper lead for a Mario film. They had started more earnest discussions by 2016, knowing that if they felt it would not work, that they could easily walk away. In November 2017, reports emerged that Nintendo was collaborating with Universal and Illumination to make an animated Mario film. Then Nintendo president Tatsumi Kimishima, beg my pardon, clarified that a deal had not been finalized, but that an announcement would come soon. Kimishima hopes that if the deal were successful, a 2020 release date would be possible. Yeah, about that. Yes.
There's a little something in the middle there that maybe.
Yeah, it might have been on the news occasionally. But yeah, so all the way back in 2016 at the very least, probably even further than that. So this movie has been in the works for a very long time, and yeah, I remember that there was like a lot of sort of teasing about this movie, like whether it was actually going to happen or not, because we kept hearing about it, but there was just absolutely no news about it for a very long time.
Yeah, there'd be like gaps of months at a time, and then there'd be like a little headline here or there.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, that's still a thing? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'd forget about it, and you'd see another thing a few months later, and it just was that on repeat until eventually we got the...
I bet there were probably articles back in the day that were like, what we know about the Super Mario Brothers movie. But first, what is Super Mario Brothers?
Oh my god, yes.
And then at the end it'd be like, as of right now, we know nothing about the Super Mario Brothers movie, but we will keep an ear out and let you know.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway. So, do you have any sort of experience with Illumination films? Like, have you watched any of their past movies before this one?
Yes, I watched the first two Despicable Me's. I've seen the Lorax by them, and I've seen the Grinch that they did, mostly to get angry at it. I think that's it. I've not seen Despicable Me 3 or was it Rise of Gru or Minions? I know you've seen Minions.
Yeah, I was going to say Minions is probably the only Illumination film I actually have seen from them, because there was just something about Illumination and their practices which I was not really a big fan of, so I kind of just refused to watch the movies, which I know that there's the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but I really do feel like that just by watching the trailers and some reviews, I sort of get a sense as to what Illumination's work is like they're sort of the kings of very safe, low-budget movies that are pretty much guaranteed to net a profit and are just about at that demographic that's just perfect for the entire family to watch. But
yeah, they started out actually quite good. So Despicable Me was actually really good. It had a lot of heart with a decent amount of comedy and whatnot, and the animation was really nice for the time and everything, and it was great. But then obviously the Minions that were in that movie took off as a character, as we know, and then with each subsequent movie, they got more and more silly and more dumbed down and whatnot. And now their animation is still phenomenal. I will give them. Say what you will about their story or writing style or comedy or whatever. That regardless of any of that, their animation has always been and continues to get even more beautiful. Like it's just honestly phenomenal work from the animation team.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit more into the Mario movies animation in particular, but yeah, I will say that as well. Like the animation is nice and vibrant and very colorful, which is something that I guess shouldn't be taken too lightly anyway, even for very safe stories that Illumination likes to put out. But yes, carry on. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Just as a general rule, I'm not big on Illumination films. It's like I enjoy Despicable. I'm really struggling with Despicable Me 1 and 2. I enjoyed 2 less so, but I still enjoyed them both. 3 haven't seen, so I can't say about that. And then I absolutely hated the Lorax. And I hated the Grinch. I hated them both with such passion. With the exception of 1 or 2 bits, but like in the Lorax, how bad can I be? Song. I don't know why I really like that song. It's really catchy.
It is kind of catchy. I have actually seen that.
Yeah, it's incredibly stupid. It shouldn't even be in the Lorax at all, but it was, damn it was catchy. And the Grinch, again, the animation just kind of sold it. Like it just looked really pretty. And then the actual bit when the Grinch is stealing Christmas, there was a lot of creative ways he was doing that, which was quite fun. So in every Illumination film, there is always at least a little speckle of something good. So I don't know. What about you? What were your thoughts on
Well,
overall Illumination?
well, yeah, as I say, like I've not seen too many Illumination films. I've only really speculated what kind of movies the kind of movies that they make, I should say. And yeah, I don't really have much of an interest in seeing a lot of them, particularly the Sing movies, which I think are sort of like the very definition of very safe, bland family films.
Is that Illumination? I forgot.
That was, yes, that was Illumination. Yeah, the only Illumination film I actually have seen aside from the Mario movie was Minions, the first one that came out, and that was mainly because I I was sort of dragged into that one. So for those listening, my then girlfriend Eve, we had a bit of a deal back in 2015 that if I went to go see Minions with her, she would go and see Jurassic World with me, because that was also out in theaters the same year. And yeah, I enjoyed Jurassic World. I think it gets a lot of hate from some fans, but I quite enjoyed it. Minions, on the other hand, it was about as safe and predictable as I thought it would be. Although there were maybe a few things I did like from it. I liked the opening where the Minions accidentally killed all their masters in very creative ways. And I also like Sandra Bullock, who I think can just be pretty much funny in a lot of her movies, and she can generally do no wrong. Her movie choices are a different story, but yes, I really enjoyed her. She was a lot of fun. But yeah, aside from that, it was a lot of what I would expect. It was just very, very safe, like easy to predict humor. Oh, and I also forgot about the sort of family of burglars. I kind of like them too. But yeah, aside from that, the humor is very, very safe and predictable. And like the Minions go to England for near the end, and of course you got the police chase, and they're all just sipping their tea while there's a car chase going on. They all have really crooked teeth, including Queen Liz, who yeah, bless her soul. But yeah, that's it was yeah, not particularly my cup of tea, but I know that kids will most likely enjoy it, and yeah, I'm sure the second Minions is probably more the same thing, but I could not say. But anyway, that's our thoughts on Illumination as a whole. I'm glad that there's at least someone between us that has had more experience with it than the other. Yeah, I'm glad that to have you here, Jude.
I am very surprised you haven't seen Despicable Me at the very least, because Robin and I watched it a lot. Our sister, for those listening, Robin.
Yeah.
We watched that a lot growing up. I feel like you must have seen it, at least in the background, particularly because any scene with Vector in it, because he was hilarious.
I've only ever seen bits and pieces of Despicable Me. Yeah, I've never actually sat down and watched the whole thing. That's probably one from what I've seen anyway. That's probably one of the better Illumination films. That was back when they were sort of unique at that point with their sort of style. No, but yeah, now they just sort of copied and pasted that and sort of maybe, as you said earlier, dumbed it down a little bit from the looks of it anyway. Again, not seen some of their later works, and yeah, can't really judge anything I haven't seen, but yeah, this is just the first impression I do get. So anyway, with all that done, so let's talk about the animation for the Super Mario Brothers movie. Just before we get into the pure controversial stuff. Yeah. So yeah, so
what controversy?
Yeah, what controversy? So anyway, yeah, like think this is probably one of the best looking Illumination films out there. Everybody looks exactly how they're supposed to. Bowser's maybe got a little bit of a slightly more crooked mouth compared to the games, and Donkey Kong's sort of got like that kind of very derpy look on him, like a lot of children's films does. But I get that it sort of does suit his character a little bit.
Yeah, I would say Donkey Kong looks a bit too in proportion. I think his bottom half is a little too small in proportion, and it makes it look a bit off. And something with his eyes, I can't remember. Somebody did a side-by-side comparison a while ago when he was first shown, and if you look at it side by side, you immediately see what the problem is. But off the top of my head, I couldn't say what it was now.
Yeah.
The characters, like you say, they do look as they should. Like unlike the live action Mario movie,
The Goombas actually look like Goombas this time.
yeah, all the characters look exactly how they should, and the animation is around them and all the environments absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Gorgeous, gorgeous animation. If you've seen any of the trailers for it, and or if you've seen the movie itself, when the Bowser ship comes in or whatever, and you see the lava dripping and
Oh,
everything.
that
The lighting, the animation, it looks gorgeous. It's phenomenal, phenomenal work by the Illumination animation department.
that opening in general is absolutely amazing. I thought I thought it was a very, very good start. Just I mean, we've all seen it, and that first, it's basically the first trailer that we got of this movie of just Bowser and the versus the penguins. The whole "open the gates" bit.
Do you yield?
Yes, I'm sure we've all seen that, but yeah, it is still really friggin' good. It is a fantastic introduction to Bowser, and what a great way to start the movie. But yes, you were mentioning the environments as well. Yeah, the Mushroom Kingdom obviously looks pretty damn good, but even stuff like Brooklyn looks very nice, and which is probably not doesn't replicate the actual Brooklyn. But yeah, even Brooklyn itself looked really nice, and I was very surprised to see Pauline was still the mayor there.
That's what. So I mean, this is something that confuses me about this movie. Is some of the setups are really weird. Like you say, Pauline is there. But she's mayor of New York City. It's not some other city. It's New York City. They have said it is New York. It's Brooklyn in the real world, whatnot. But in the games, she's mayor of New Donk City.
I can only guess New Donk City is meant to be sort of like a recreation of Brooklyn or something.
But yeah, it's just like, what is that what they're going to rename it to? We're going to get to the second movie, they're going to come back and it's going to have been renamed to New Donk City. I don't know, because
like
help save the city somewhat.
Mario goes to a parallel universe or something.
Yeah, it was a bit weird with the setup. It's a bit odd, and there's little bits of like that here and there. Like Jumpman exists within this world. There's an arcade cabinet in the background of a shot.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea the Wrecking Crew guy wasn't Mario or Jumpman either. I didn't know it was a completely different guy.
No, Spike. Yeah. Yeah. As Josh just mentioned as well, we get another cameo as well in that the Wrecking Crew guys. So all the but the weirdest part for me is that Jumpman is in there, and it's an arcade game in the background. And do they not realize the comparisons with real life? Do they not go, hey, this is a lot like that game I played in that pizza shop, which is, by the way, named Punch Out Pizza.
Oh yeah, and you get a picture of Soda Popinski in the background,
and Mr. Sandman.
Oh yeah. I think
it's a signed photo of Soda Popinski and just like a photo of Mr. Sandman, but it's Punch Out Pizzeria or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that Jumpman exists in this world as well as in the arcade game, because like you would have thought as well, when Mario's going to his house and playing his video games, you would think it would go full meta and he'd just be playing like Mario 3 or something, but Kid Icarus seems like a bit of a weird choice.
Yes, he's playing Kid Icarus, and it's on the NES as well.
Yeah. So
even though they've got mobile phones and everything in this world, he still plays on NES.
Yeah, and he's got a CRT TV as well.
The world is just a really strange, which I suppose is actually quite on point for Mario. Yeah. It's never supposed to make sense. And the guy, again as well, you get further reference as well with apparently his name's Giuseppe, but there's a guy playing the Jumpman arcade, and it's voiced by Charles Martinet.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Yeah, so I didn't actually spot him in the movie while I was watching, but I had to look him up afterwards. But yes, Charles Martinet does make a cameo in this film, although I think he does additional voices as well, maybe in a few other places, not just Giuseppe.
One or two, maybe, but
yeah.
I don't. I picked up Giuseppe right away. Oh no, he voices all of the family. That was it.
Oh yes, we should mention there's the Mario and Luigi have a family. Then there's a really big family of Italian American plumbers. Well, not plumbers, but just Italian Americans.
Yeah, they'll make fun of them wanting to be the best plumbers ever or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I believe they are voiced by Charles Martinet. If I remember rightly, I'm not 100% sure on that.
I was kind of worried that there would be some sort of like big focus on like Mario having to prove to his dad that, you know, he can be the best plumber and whatnot. But yeah, they thankfully dropped that pretty quickly. And just they know to focus more on the Mushroom Kingdom stuff, which, yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah, it was very, I guess, moving on to a bit about the story, I guess here we might as well. The movie was very good about just getting right to what you want to see. I
Yeah.
felt like it was maybe 10, 15 minutes before we got to see the Mushroom Kingdom, pretty much. It didn't take long. I wasn't sat there, wriggling in my seat, looking at my watch, being like, oh, when's it going to get to the
Yeah,
Mushroom
and,
Kingdom?
and this is a mercifully short hour and a half movie as well.
I'm so glad it was an hour and a half. I was like, I was, buying my ticket, and I was like, how short is it? An hour and a half? What is this, the 90s?
I
Like,
know, it feels like a rarity now.
it's great. I haven't had an hour and a half movie in ages, and it got in, it got out. That was
Yeah.
all it had to do.
Yeah, meanwhile, what wasn't the Sonic? No, the Sonic movie was like an hour and a half as well, wasn't it? But I could have sworn it felt longer.
Yeah, that one I was wriggling in my seat a fair bit for, but we haven't seen the Sonic movie 2 yet, so we can't say. But like,
Yeah,
at least the very first one was it felt long. I don't know if it actually was long.
yeah. And like this was actually something I wanted to bring up just while I got the Sonic movie in mind. Just like I get the feeling that we both enjoy this movie a fair bit, but yeah. So why would we like this movie more than the Sonic movie? Which yeah, we should mention as well. Like we saw the first one, and as Jude mentioned, haven't seen the second one yet. But yeah, we weren't quite as into the Sonic movie as we were with this one, and like it feels the Sonic movie felt almost, if not even more shallow than the Mario movie does. But for some reason, the Mario movie just definitely strikes a chord with us more, and I don't know if that's just because we grew up with Mario than Sonic, but like I feel like there's other things going on.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of nostalgia for us in that if you've grown up with Mario, this movie is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's chock full of references and callbacks and whatnot.
Those references we just listed, that's only a mere handful.
That is but a taste.
Yes, that is but a taste of the
references and Easter eggs.
The references and stuff. Like, it's just a small fraction of it. And like, if you are a Mario fan, if you've ever played a Mario game and you've loved it and whatnot, you will probably enjoy this movie at least from a nostalgia standpoint. The thing with Sonic for us is we didn't grow up with Sonic. I myself don't particularly like the Sonic games apart from Generations, and I think the reason it didn't strike a chord with us is because of that, and also the Sonic movie is very much it's a 90s buddy cop movie.
Yeah, basically.
It's not faithful to Sonic. It's not him running around Green Hill Zone and whatnot like you would expect. It's him being brought into our real world, not getting to exist in this fake world, which I think probably is to its detriment.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen the second one. I don't know if they actually do go to Green Hill Zone and everything.
Yeah, I think they do address it somewhat in the second movie, but yeah, I can't really say for sure.
Yeah, so I think that's why there's that difference. If you didn't like the Sonic movie, you would probably like if you didn't like the Sonic movie because it wasn't very faithful or it didn't really strike that chord with you, you might enjoy the Mario movie.
Yeah.
Because it really almost sort of brings a tear to your eye in moments with some of the music cues.
Oh yes.
Or some of the visuals. Particularly for me, I don't know about you, but there's a bit where he's approaching the actual main Mushroom Kingdom and he looks up and it's Princess Peach's castle.
Yes.
Sat on top of the hill, and it plays the Mario 64 Peach Castle music, or like a proper orchestrated version of it.
Yeah.
And it does it, and it swells up in this music, and it it made me feel like a little tear to my eye. It's just like, oh, music. It's Peach's Castle. It's amazing. It's exactly what you want to see on the big screen.
Yeah.
When you hear Mario movie, you want to see it.
Yeah. Take that 1993 movie.
Yes.
There's no Super Mario Brothers theme in that one.
No.
But yeah,
it's just. Yeah,
I was very happy as well to see that the Mario rap made it in from the Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh yes, there was a trailer with that used that.
Yeah,
Yes, from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, they had the Mario rap with where the Mario Brothers and
And
Plumbins are
Pullman's a
game.
game.
Yep.
Disappointed that I was disappointed that Mario didn't go like, "Hey, paisanos."
Yeah, or he did do the Mario.
Yeah, do the Mario. Yes.
Just gotta swing your arms from side to side.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Sadly, we wouldn't be able to get Captain Lou Albano in because yeah, he's unfortunately passed.
no, sadly.
Yeah,
But
it's a shame.
yeah, it's just chock full of references like that, which I think is what makes it so special to watch for fans like us. Is if you've followed Mario for as long as we have, to see it and be done so well, is just phenomenal. I think they actually got Koji Kondo in to do the music.
They
as
did,
well.
yeah, and he's in the credits as well.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of music as well, we should mention that the DK rap comes in.
Oh, I was so happy with that. Yes.
It was really great to see it, but unfortunately, the guy that composed it did not get credited in the final movie, and he even posted about it on Twitter. So hopefully, when this movie gets released on Blu-rays and DVDs and whatnot, he will get properly credited. But that's kind of a shame, really.
Yeah, that's a bit of a dick move.
Yeah.
But I thought it said the DK rap in the credits, and it was listed as DK rap. I saw.
Yeah, I just don't think they credited the original composer specifically.
Okay. I was so happy to hear that. Like, again, it goes to that thing with like it shows you exactly what you want to see when you see Donkey Kong coming out on screen. The Smash Brothers or Donkey Kong 64 fans amongst us are all sat there going like, "Come on,
whoa!"
Yeah, you're just sat there going, "Oh, come on, please do the rap, please do the rap." And then he comes on, and you hear the here we go, and you're like, "Yes, they did it! They know what you want to see."
Yeah.
And for the most part, they do it. There were a couple things I didn't get to see that I would have liked off the top of my head. There was something about Bowser's music. For the most part, there could have been. At no point did I particularly hear them do the. I don't know if I missed it or something, but the Mario 64 when
about the Road to Bowser music.
Yeah, or the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you would think you might hear that, or there's a bit where Bowser's minions are coming down on a bunch of Mario carts and whatnot to attack our heroes, and at that point, I would have thought it'd be really good to hear the Bowser's Castle Mario Kart music. Like, imagine a horde of Koopas coming down, and you hear that guitar riff and stuff. It's little bits like that. These are minor nitpicks in terms of little nostalgia bits I would have liked. But there were a couple moments like that where I was like, you could have done a little bit more there. I suppose it stops it from just being nothing but callbacks and nostalgia.
Yeah, I suppose I think Illumination also figured whilst they got Jack Black voicing Bowser, we may as well get a free Tenacious D concert out of it too.
One half of Tenacious D, but yeah.
Yes, one half.
Yes, Peaches. Oh, what a song.
Did you? I just wanted. I know you've had it stuck in your head for a little while, but because you've told me about it before we started recording. But yeah. Did you get any laughs when you're screening when that song came on? Because ours was like dead silent when Bowser was singing.
I had a few laughs going on because I mean there were a fair few kids in my particular viewing, but even the adults were giggling a bit and whatnot. I think it depends on the audience, really.
Yeah.
I think if you get one or two people laughing, then that kickstarts everybody else to like. Everybody's like, "Oh, I guess we can laugh to this now." Okay,
yeah.
I feel like if you're it depends on the room you're in, really, because if you're in with a bunch of adults and nobody wants to be the first to laugh at Bowser singing Peaches,
yeah, just saying Peaches over and over again.
Yeah, nobody's gonna want to be the first guy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like around 2 million hits on YouTube as of right now, so it must have some love.
It has more than that now. I think it's like 3.4.
Ah, right. Okay, so that shows how quickly it's gone popular.
No, I was totally wrong. 8.7 million.
Oh, there we go then.
And that's just for the official Illumination one. There's also one that was uploaded as a music video with Jack Black actually kind of dressed up as Bowser somewhat, and that's got 12 million views.
Yeah.
So combined almost 21 million. Um, yeah, it's been doing very well. I found it funny, and as Josh said, it's been stuck in my head for the past week, and I've been singing it to
But
myself.
I will say though, I would much rather listen to that than the absolutely inappropriate licensed music that was playing.
Oh, Jesus, yes. Oh,
How
Christ.
many kids films have to play "Holding Out for a Goddamn Hero" during a motivational section of the movie? Like
Yeah.
Short Circuit 2 does it. The Shrek 2 does it. The flippin' Tetris movie that came out not too long ago, that has it, only it's in Russian. And now this movie has it. Just like, why is that one goddamn song so popular?
I don't understand it. So there are actually a fair few moments like that in this movie where they're. So I know we were just praising the music, for the most part. That's the original music, or the remixes of known music. On occasion, they will insert
Like a well-known track, a licensed track.
a licensed track from our time. Off the top of my head, "Holding Out for a Hero" was there.
Take on
"Take
Me.
on Me" was the other one. All of them
Oh,
don't
Mr.
fit.
Blue Sky as well.
Mr. Blue Sky, not a single one of them fit within the scene.
No,
That was my problem with it, at least. Yeah,
yeah.
if you're gonna use it, make it fit the scene. But every single one felt like it was just came out of nowhere. Like you just go, oh, okay,
Yeah.
or it just didn't fit in the slightest, or a combination of the two. Particularly "Take on Me" "Take on Me" was playing when they're entering the DK Island kind of area, and they're driving around in the cart. So this is this really fast driving thing, and it's showing you really nice slow moving panning shots of this jungle area, and you've got "Take on Me" playing. And it's like, oh, that doesn't fit at all.
No, it should have been a bit more tropical or something.
Yeah, either get a more tropical licensed track, or what they should have done really is maybe play the Donkey Kong Country music.
Yeah.
Have the dee 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 thing, as they're driving around.
Yeah.
There's stuff you could have done.
I don't even know if David Wise is credited when for the Kong Island stuff.
But they didn't even use any, so
Nah.
yeah, he wouldn't be. But
yeah, it was just
disappointing.
it was very poor placement all around. And
Yeah, it just didn't need to be there. I think it was to fill some sort of quota.
yeah, it's just to get the kids going. Oh, I know that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just felt really unwarranted amongst so many really nice original tracks that have been remixed or orchestrated.
It's something that Illumination does love to do as well. And I completely forgot to mention this during about the animation segment as well. And I think this is very much an Illumination thing that they do as well. But yeah, you can tell me if it's not. But there are way too many goddamn slow-mo sections in this. Slow-mo shots in this. Sorry.
I think that's just a general kids movie thing at the moment.
Yeah, but there's
slow-mo.
There's like 5 or 6 in the whole movie, and it gets so tiring. Like 1 or 2, okay, fine. It's a little bit cringy, so to speak, but yeah, okay, I can let it slide. But yeah, they were so proud of it in this movie, and that was another one of my biggest complaints with it. It's just they got really annoying, and just tie that in with the licensed music as well. It was just awful, and it just really broke the immersion.
It just throws you.
Yeah, and it was not great, but yeah. So, with all of that done, I don't think we have anything else to say about the music and animation.
No.
So, all right, so let's get to the big one, the the controversial thing that people were definitely most concerned about, the casting. So, this was sort of up in the air for a long time, even before the movie came out, as to who was going to be cast, because a lot of people were probably expecting Charles Martinet as Mario, and Luigi, because he's been voicing those characters for over 35 years now, so it would make sense. But we didn't get an official announcement of the cast until a Nintendo Direct at around September of 2021, and it was very much not what people expected. So, we have Chris Pratt playing Mario. We have Charlie Day voicing Luigi. Anya Taylor-Joy voicing Princess Peach. Jack Black voicing Bowser, King of the Koopas.
And singing.
And singing. Yes, one half of Tenacious D, let us not forget. And we also have Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, who I have no idea if it's just a generic Toad or if it's Captain Toad, because they do play they play the Captain Toad theme, and he has his backpack, and he even does the whole ready for adventure bit.
Yeah, he likes to talk about adventures and stuff.
Yeah.
But at no point, I was expecting at the end of the movie, Peter would be like, "All right, Captain Toad,"
Yeah,
and it would be like a. But yeah, like you say, then all we got was in the credits when Keegan-Michael Key's credit came up. It just did the little Captain Toad music. So who knows?
Yeah, it was very odd. It's not very clear as to which Toad this is. But yeah, he's very determined at the very least. So I think those were pretty much the big ones. Oh no, I forgot one more. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Yeah. There's Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong as well.
Oh God. Yeah, I think
I hated Cranky Kong's voice work.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It was absolutely terrible. It did not fit. It just sounded like a young man trying to replicate an old man.
Yeah, which is weird because Fred Armisen is not a young man. It's just the voice he was doing was awful.
He just sounded like Jewish or something. Which
that's fine. That could work if his voice was too light. It was the moment it came out of him, like that. What the hell? That is not coming out of this giant gorilla.
Yeah,
it just doesn't. Say what you will, I didn't mind some of Seth Rogen's performance. But say what you will, at least his voice was somewhat deeper, and you could at least somewhat believe that a voice that deep came out of a gorilla, but not Fred Armisen's voice coming out of Cranky Kong.
No, it was really bad. I think he's probably the only voice I would also say was pretty bad. And I'm not trying my Jewish comment earlier. I'm not saying that to be anti-Semitic or whatever. I just felt like, for a fictional gorilla, it was just a very odd performance. That was all. Yeah. It was.
That's another thing about the world as well that was a bit weird. Is what Cranky Kong's there. Jumpman is an arcade game, and Pauline's the mayor.
Yeah.
Like, Cranky Kong is supposed to have kidnapped Pauline. He's supposed to be the OG Donkey Kong that kidnapped Pauline.
Yeah.
But in this world, none of that happened, and Jumpman's a game. But he's still there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lick of sense, but yeah, it's Mario. Nothing makes sense.
Mario never did.
Yeah. But yeah, we do get a little bit of a Diddy and Dixie in that whole bit as well.
I love that. I loved Diddy. Just being like, what? Donkey Kong. That was really good.
I kind of wish Dixie had a line, unfortunately, but yeah. Oh well, that's maybe what the inevitable sequel's for.
I'm guessing we're going to get a spin-off of Donkey Kong.
Maybe, yeah, just before the second
Metroid
movie. Maybe. Well, as long as
finally play Samus as she's been wanting to for years.
I wouldn't want Illumination to do a Metroid movie. I think they make it too silly.
I think they would need to be a live-action Metroid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same with Zelda.
Yeah,
but yes. So the casting, it caught us by surprise, both me and Jude. We were not thinking it was going to work out well, much like many others. The reactions to it when it was announced ranged from a lot of just huh to oh come on.
Yeah.
So I think there were very few people that were acting pretty positively about it. But, we've seen this happen before where, casting choices, they can be questionable, but they usually turn out fairly well. Like Heath Ledger as the Joker or Michael Keaton as Batman. It can work, but sometimes it doesn't. Someone like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I realize, yes, I am making 3 DC comparisons there. But
DC's not good at casting.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's such a flip of the coin with DC.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought for the most part, apart from Cranky Kong, the casting was fine. Even Chris Pratt as Mario, who I think most people were pretty detested with.
Yeah, they were not kind.
Yeah, I felt it was a little bit unfair as well with when the first trailer came out, and all Chris Pratt said was like maybe one or two words, and people were immediately thinking, it sucks. It's not Mario.
Yeah, it was Mushroom Kingdom, here we come, is all he had said, and everybody was like, "No, it's terrible."
Yeah.
It was like you could. It wasn't very clear over the music and everything, so we thought that was a bit unfair, and we were always. I mean, if you ever tuned into our streams when we were talking about it, we were always trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and we were like, "Yeah, maybe it will be good." We don't want to start hating on it until we hear more of it. And even when we did hear more of it, we didn't like necessarily what we heard, but we were still like, okay, wait till the full movie.
Yeah.
And I like you, I didn't think it was too bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Mario. It's not, what you would typically say sounds like Mario, but you maybe feel a bit weird listening to it for the first minute, and then after that minute you're just like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that was exactly how I felt. It took a while for me to get used to, but I did eventually get used to it, and like I see why that they didn't do the typical Italian accents, because like they actually do it in the beginning of the movie, and then for this like plumbing commercial. Yeah, they make a joke out of the typical Italian accents for the plumbing commercial, and like I figured, okay, yeah, maybe it was for the best that they didn't do those accents, because that would have gone very annoying for like 90 minutes.
I feel like they put that in specifically to be like, see, it would have been terrible.
Yeah.
See, this is why we did it.
But they didn't quite do the same with Anya Taylor-Joy for Peach either. It's like they didn't have her speak in the high-pitched voice and then just be like, okay, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I would have liked to have heard it. The joke I thought they would do was that she would get grabbed at one point or something, and she'd just like randomly blur out a really high-pitched and it was going to be like, oh, and then everybody would be like, what the hell was that? Something like that. But they didn't do that in the end, sadly. As a massive Peach fan, die-hard, ride or die Peach fan, I was slightly disappointed with the voice work, since pretty much the first time we heard her speak in the trailers. Again, like Mario, it kind of eventually, after a minute or two, it's like, okay, fine. But it doesn't really fit her character, in my opinion.
Sorry.
Go for it.
I was going to say, much like the family dilemma, I was very, very glad that they didn't have Peach be the damsel in distress at the end, because like I was thinking, as soon as she was teaching Mario how to like run and jump and do the obstacle course and whatnot, I was thinking, oh, here we go. She's going to prove herself to be a badass, but she's going to get captured very late in the movie, and Mario has to save her, yada, yada, yada. But no, they actually didn't end up doing that, and I was like, oh, thank Christ for that. I
will say, I loved how they pulled off her character. I'm not sold on Anya Taylor-Joy as her voice, because I don't expect it to be the high-pitched voice, because that would just be annoying. But like, it just feels like generic, like not super into it voice. She sounded a little bored to me, and just like she's reading generic action lines. But the character of Peach was done really well.
Yeah, they actually gave her a backstory.
She got a backstory. She was badass. She did the hoop skirt thing where she puffs out the skirt so she can float for a minute, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool that she did it all in her dress, that whole obstacle course.
Yes, she does this badass she does this obstacle course. She's all badass about it, and she finishes off with a flourish and then poofs out her dress so that it lets her float down gently, just like in the games. And it was just like, all right, you won me over. And then, as Josh says, they kind of set it up like she was going to get captured, but at the end, obviously, if you've seen the movie, you saw she kind of saved herself.
Yeah, she kind of does most of the work at the end.
Well, yeah, Mario deals with the big threat at the very end, but like in terms of getting away from Bowser,
yeah, that's mostly Peach.
She got the ice flower. She started shit with at the wedding. She started blasting. I like the bit where they're looking up at Bowser's little castle thing, and then you just see like blasting going on. And normally you would think, oh, something bad's going on there, but no, it's just Peach kicking ass. And it's great. I loved that because it showed the badass side of Peach that I wanted to see. Although apparently there've been a lot of people complaining.
Oh, all right. What about?
About that, well, they say, oh, since when is Peach so
she's turned into Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So it's just political correctness. It's like, and it's those of us who are Peach fans pointing out that she's been not a damsel in distress since like 1988.
Mhm.
She was in Mario 2 as a playable character and wasn't a damsel, in Mario 3D World and all those games and whatnot. She was fine and perfectly badass. Or if you play Mario Strikers, and she's very violent, So they got to have the badass side, and I was of Peach, which I really really love to see as a Peach fan. I'm just annoyed that the fan base was was giving crap for it.
Mario's gone woke.
Yes, Mario's Gone Woke was pretty much her argument.
Yeah. Boy. You know
What about Charlie Day as Luigi? What did you think of that?
Before we move on to Charlie Day, I just wanted to quickly say about Peach. Like, I hadn't noticed for the longest time until Bowser pointed it out that her bangs are actually in the shape of a heart.
You hadn't noticed?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Our dad was in the screening with me when we went to see it, and he didn't notice either. It was like, oh my god, we've been playing these games for like 35 years or so, and we hadn't noticed.
Wow. This just shows how you're not a diehard Peach fan like me.
No, I am not, clearly.
No, you're a Daisy fan.
But yes,
Daisy's great, but like,
I'm a Daisy fan. I like Daisy more.
Not Peach.
I hope Daisy comes in the next one.
Yeah, a Daisy or Rosalina would be nice to see.
Yeah, I think Rosalina will probably be like the sort of MacGuffin of the next movie.
Yeah, I feel like she'd probably be a major focus because they had a Luma in this movie.
They did, yeah.
Peach has a line where she says there's a lot of galaxies out there, and obviously, like, I feel like that was like a little nudge. She's like, eh?
Yeah, we got Gusty Garden in the mid credits as well.
Yeah, so I feel like they're potentially setting up that maybe we're gonna get Rosalina if they were to do a second one, they would probably have Rosalina in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure Peach would, but maybe Luigi will get his love as well.
But yes, we should talk about Luigi since you brought him up earlier. Yeah, I thought Charlie Day suited it well. I love the little Luigi's Mansion callback when he got separated from Mario, and like that whole scene is actually kind of disturbing for a little kid when he's running away from the dry bones. Because like,
oh yeah, those are all dead Koopas.
Yeah, those are all dead Koopas, and Luigi gets so damn close to the lava at a couple points. Like,
yeah, even in the finale.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and then in the finale as well. Like, it gets pretty intense, and you got the Shy Guys immediately afterwards just popping right on in front of him, and it cuts to black with Luigi screaming. It's just like, Jesus.
I loved the Shy Guys. It was weird to hear one talk. I always I can't remember. It was one of the ones with the gas mask. It's not the
the
mask.
Oh, I forget what they're called, but they've been in there since Mario 2.
Yeah, but it was weird to hear him talk.
Yeah,
I thought of all the people to not talk properly, that should be one.
Yeah,
like because the Goombas never talked. The Koopas didn't really. I don't think.
I think some of the Koopas did, and yeah,
Kamek did as well. But the Shy Guy, it just sounds sort of like a normal dude with a bit of a silly voice, and it's like that's not right. I feel like you could have made a joke out of it too, but like I feel like it should have still just been that. And then you could have maybe had Bowser be like, "What are you saying? What?"
He probably doesn't
even translate,
He didn't know what Spinies were. I don't think he would know what Shy Guys are.
Exactly. I feel like they could have built on the joke. He didn't even know what the Shy Guys were saying half the time because they just all they're doing is. I loved their little creepy appearance.
Yeah.
Just a little side thing about.
They were great.
Instead of talking about Luigi like I'm supposed to, but
yeah. But like we're talking to the Dry Bones as well. Like this movie has a fairly impressive body count for a kids movie. Like you see Bowser completely incinerate one of the Koopas and turn him into a Dry Bones, and he like threatens to kill Luigi
multiple times.
And you get the blue shell Koopa in the kart race just completely becoming a kamikaze trooper.
Oh yeah, he kills himself.
Yeah, he kills himself.
Yeah, kamikaze bomber. Yes, and I forgot about that. And he talks. I forgot he talked.
Yeah, he did. And he got the Luma as well, like just going all crazy and talking about the sweet mercy of death.
That Luma. I love that Luma. And it was the interaction between the Luma and just about everybody else being like, shut the hell up. And he'd just be like, the sweet embrace of death. And then I think it was the penguin just being like, oh, come on, we're depressed enough as it is. It just got me.
I liked the Luma for maybe like a couple minutes for like the couple jokes he did, but I think it got a little old after a little bit personally.
I think you're in the wrong age range.
Maybe.
But it's very much a Gen Z thing, or
Yeah,
Gen Z millennial type humor to
guess.
like that. I welcome death.
But yeah, I guess that's what bumps up the age rating from a U to a PG in the UK.
What that means is more ticket sales there because parents have to take their kids.
That's true. That is very true. Just
probably why they did it.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true.
Because all the kids are going to want to go and see the Mario movie, but they can't see the Mario movie unless the parents go to.
Yeah. Hey, it's genius, really.
Yep.
But anyway, so let's talk about Luigi. Finally.
Yep. All right, Luigi.
Yes.
Our boy.
Yeah. I thought Charlie Day did a pretty good job with him. He was he got the sort of cowardly nature of Luigi down pretty well, right down to the Luigi's Mansion callback. And yeah, it's like he did not really much more to say about him. I think he was probably one of the better casting choices.
He was honestly so good that there's not a lot to say.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like Luigi. I didn't spend my time being like, that's not Luigi.
Yeah, yeah. There were a number of times where I could definitely see the voice actor behind the character, but not with Charlie Day. Certainly, I think.
He did a really good job being Luigi.
Yeah, I just saw Luigi there. I didn't see anybody else.
And I feel like I could have a movie of him and not get annoyed at it.
Yeah.
If they were to do a Luigi's Mansion movie for whatever reason,
after the Donkey Kong spinoff.
Yeah. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having that voice for that long. Whereas somebody like Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, after a little bit, I'm gonna get annoyed.
Yeah.
Charlie Day, I could go through a whole movie and not be annoyed. I could go a whole movie with Peach. Even Chris Pratt Mario, I'm not like saying it was super stellar amazing.
Yeah.
But like again, I can go through. I mean, we have gone through a whole movie of listening to him, but I didn't bug me.
No.
I think that's good praise. It's not a bad thing that he disappeared into the role a bit. I felt like it was Luigi. He was, as you say, sufficiently cowardly and a bit like as Luigi is supposed to be. So he did a really good job with that, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And much like Luigi as well, I was thinking that Keegan-Michael Key as Toad was going to be super duper annoying because like Peach, Toad has a pretty high-pitched voice, and we've heard him in the Super Mario Brothers Super Show with that absolutely ear-grating voice. And yeah, I was thinking it was going to be something like that, but thankfully they do not go that route. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key does a fairly decent impression, while also making it his own and making it actually tolerable.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Toad, is like he doesn't really have a lot to do, unfortunately. I'm not really sure why he's even there.
He cooks occasionally. But like he got the ice flower to Peach.
Yeah.
But other than that, he did not do much. He was more to just kind of have him there.
Yeah. Just felt
I'm not sure I could have a whole movie of him. I agree. Keegan-Michael Key did a good job for what he was given in that movie, but I wouldn't want to hear a whole movie of that Toad, because I'm gonna call him Captain Toad because let's face it, he was Captain Toad.
Basically.
Captain Toad. If they were to do a Captain Toad focused movie, I would not want to hear that voice for that long, or not necessarily the voice, but the character. The character itself was very in your face. Look at me, I'm funny.
Yeah,
character.
He's sort of the minions of the movie.
Yeah, well, some of the Toads are. I found some of the other Toads more funny than him because there's the look at us, we're adorable, or the Commander Toad that was just like weirdly, really, really deep voiced.
Oh yeah,
I
that threw me
actually,
off.
the moment he spoke, I was giggling to myself. I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Did you also find it very distracting when one of the toys was voiced by Robin from Teen Titans?
Yes. But
Which actually it sort of makes sense because I was looking this up in my brief research earlier. Apparently, this movie was directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, who also did Teen Titans Go. So that kind of makes sense.
that does make sense.
Yeah.
That also explains why because the guy who voices the Penguin is the guy who voices Cyborg.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
So, like, yeah, well, I mean, he's got like two ranges of voice. He either gets his really cool, deep, booming voice, or he's got his really light-hearted "booyah" voice.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so that does tend to track. There's probably Tara Strong somewhere in there for all we know. 'Cause
Probably.
she voices Raven, doesn't she?
Yeah, she voices Raven. Yeah.
Starfire actress who I don't remember the name of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know, unfortunately. So yeah, that's Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. And so I suppose we should talk about Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong for a brief moment. I didn't hate it as much as I thought it would, but even Seth Rogen himself admitted that he was just basically going to be himself, and I felt like it sort of shows in the movie. Like he's probably trying the least hard to.
He's not trying to disappear into the character.
And
which is kind of sad, given that how much, even to his credit, Chris Pratt clearly did put in some effort to try and do a character, do a voice, not just sound like Chris Pratt. I didn't. At no point did I go like that. Just sounds like Chris Pratt. It sounded like Chris Pratt doing a voice, but it didn't sound like Chris Pratt himself.
Yeah, I felt sort of the same as well. But like, it was disappointing to see that Seth Rogen just didn't even try. And
when everybody else was trying,
he's such a frustrating actor to me as well, because like he's on the same level as someone like Adam Sandler to me, where I know he can do good stuff, but for some reason he just doesn't use his talents well. Like he always does the same sort of stoner comedies that and so he portrays himself as a stoner in the stoner comedy, and it just gets so disappointing to see his talent go to waste, because I know he can, as I say, I know he can do good stuff. I saw him in Pam and Tommy, and he was great in that. I actually found his scene I've actually found his scenes more interesting than whatever was going on with Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Yeah,
like, and he can be funny, and even in the stuff like The Disaster Artist, he was funny there too.
Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, and Freaks and Geeks, although he was probably not the greatest character there of the lot.
He was still interesting, and he played it well. I didn't feel like it was Seth Rogen. It felt like a character.
Yeah.
I found the voice. I wish if it was just a little deeper. If it was just a little bit deeper, it would have been all right. And if he just didn't do his Seth Rogen laugh.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. If he had just done a slightly deeper voice, I feel like it could have worked. And if he just didn't do his Seth Rogen laugh, because it was just really annoying to hear that thing. Like, it's like, oh.
That sounded
especially knowing
that sounded more like Dr. Hibbert.
Oh yeah, but I'm not a Seth Rogen impressionist. You've distracted me. Especially when Donkey Kong his laugh is more of like it's like just try and do a different laugh, please. If you just put a little smidgen of effort, you could have maybe made it work. You might have been a decent Donkey Kong, but no, I mean, he is a decent Donkey Kong. It's just like you could have been a really good Donkey Kong potentially if you just put in a small bit of effort. I did find the character of Donkey Kong was a bit off, other than him hating Mario.
Yeah,
I like that he hated Mario for the most part. I didn't want him to just be like super friendly about it all the time, but like the character felt weird, that he was like a bit of a show off and a bit of a he likes to play to the crowd and flex his pecs and stuff. I feel like Donkey Kong would be a show off, but not that kind of show off.
And I suppose that's kind of the only part of Seth Rogen's performance that I would say would sort of suit Donkey Kong, given that he does do a lot of stoner comedies and whatnot, and Donkey Kong's not really the sharpest tool in the shed anyway, and so it does kind of end up working to some degree. But yeah, as we mentioned, I really wish he put a little more effort in.
Yeah.
And as you say, yeah, the Donkey Kong's character himself is I wouldn't say it was necessarily off, but he definitely did not. He definitely seemed a bit too smart for Donkey Kong.
It started off okay because when he first kind of comes in, not first comes in, but when he's fighting Mario and he does like a now you die. Like
I actually
I
kind of
love
like that. Yeah, that was great.
exactly. I love that. That is that little bit where I was like, "There's Donkey Kong." He's cocky. He's a bit of a show off, but not in the kind of let me flex my pecs kind of way that they ended up doing. And that if anybody messes with Donkey Kong, he gives them crap back.
Yeah.
And it was that little brief little like, and now you die. Where he is just like, okay, there he is. You can do Donkey Kong. Why are you not doing it more?
Yes, indeed.
Please do more.
I was also thinking they were gonna in that whole fight sequence with Mario versus Donkey Kong, like they were gonna do like a callback to the arcade game at one shot when.
Oh, I thought so.
Yeah, Mario was like a girder below Donkey Kong, and he had the barrel ready. And I was thinking, okay, this is where the Donkey Kong arcade game is gonna come into play with a callback, but they didn't end up doing it for some reason.
No, he didn't throw it at him, and he didn't do it. Didn't. I would have thought he'd throw it at him, he'd jump over it, and he'd hear like a
yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
That'd be great. Yeah,
that was a bit.
Yeah, bit of a shame, really. It's a shame.
Much like every other character aside from Cranky Car, is like it was okay. Not our favorite, basically.
I do wonder though what baby Donkey Kong would have looked like though, because we get flashbacks.
Oh, yeah.
We get flashbacks of Mario and Luigi and baby Peach as well, which I was really glad to see that it actually uses the proper models for baby Mario and baby Luigi. Like our dad and I I got a little bit of a giggle out of that. That was quite good.
Yeah, I like that they made a joke. They make a joke about how they have matching outfits.
Yeah.
At some point in the family makes fun of them for having matching outfits, but then that flashback comes and you're like, wait, so did the family, since they were babies, give them matching outfits? And now they're getting angry at them that they still like to have matching outfits? Like, it was a bit weird, but like I liked seeing like it gave me a giggle just seeing the proper baby Mario and Luigi models.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed that. It was
very cute to see that, as well as baby Peach.
Yeah.
Didn't get to hear him though.
No, that was kind of a shame.
We grew up in the Double Dash era where you select Baby Mario and you get the Baby Mario,
Baby
Luigi. Yep. We didn't get that.
No, shame. Boo. Worst movie ever. But yes, so that leaves
Bowser.
Last but not least, yes, Jack Black as Bowser.
Love him.
Yeah, he was great.
Perfect. I loved him so much.
It did a double take at first when he got announced as Bowser, but yeah, he more than made up for it. Like he absolutely proved himself to be Bowser. He was Bowser, basically.
Yeah, and he clearly, if you watch the movie, if you have watched the movie, or if you do watch the movie, I would hope you have watched the movie if you're listening to this spoiler-filled podcast, or if you watch the movie or any interviews, he clearly loves playing the character.
Yeah.
And he loves doing the voice and whatnot, because he turns up to every interview dressed up as Bowser in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Like he turned up to one in a really cheap Bowser costume, and he did the red carpet, and his suit had the spiky turtle shell on the back and whatnot. So he clearly loves playing the character, and it really shows in the movie that he's just having fun and being Bowser, because there are a lot of moments. Sure, there are a lot of moments where the Illumination comedy takes over and he has to do something not quite Bowser-y, but it's
singing Peaches.
Like singing Peaches. However, that was hilarious, and I love that. So,
I think that was just clearly Jack Black riffing, and then they were just press the record button on it anyway.
Jack Black, you're gonna let him sing.
Yeah.
I thought he just did a phenomenal job being Bowser when he was being threatening, like you mentioned earlier, the open the gates thing. Like that was like damn. And then there was a bit I loved that as well. The more angry he got, the more he sounded like Bowser from the game.
Yeah.
There's a bit in the very finale bit where Mario's all dejected and thinks he's kind of lost, and he's sat in that pizzeria, and Bowser comes running by, and I feel like they ripped it straight from the game potentially. I don't know if they got Jack Black to record it and sounded very much like it. He runs past and he does that whoa that Bowser's known for. I was really, really impressed overall just with Jack Black. I would not change a thing.
Yeah.
Him trying to flirt as well.
That's great.
I guess it really makes you come out of your shell.
That was perfect. Like, great moment.
Yeah. I did feel like some jokes in general did go a little too long, but I loved that hey, I guess that really comes out of your shell was funny. And then they had the piranha plant start snapping and he had to stomp it out and whatnot. And then it was like, oh, you went a little too far there.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a wider shot and Kamek's dressed up as Peach and then it's like hilarious again. Yeah, it's sometimes the jokes went a little too long with Bowser, but like overall phenomenal work. I loved it.
Yeah, completely agree. And you could definitely tell that Jack Black was definitely a big fan of the games as well. Which was definitely something that Chris Pratt didn't quite show off too well when well, at least at first anyway. He may be a big Mario fan, just maybe not quite as in tune with the games, but yeah, when in one of the directs for one of the trailers for this movie, like he was saying, oh, how he's been playing Mario games since the arcade days, like since the Mario Brothers arcade game, and he would stomp on Koopa Troopas, even though you don't stomp on Koopa Troopas in that game. But
no, it's I don't mind so much that as the pause where it's like we stomp on Koopa Troopers and did you forget for a second? did you need a reminder?
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird, but
yeah.
Just poking fun. Here.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Like,
So a slight nitpicking, nerdy nitpicky stuff.
But like, it was, Jack Black, phenomenal. Wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah,
I hope
definitely.
they do another movie that they bring Bowser back and he gets to voice him again.
Yeah,
because he was so good.
He was. I did like maybe occasionally get detect Jack Black behind the character, but like particularly when he's like screaming some of his lines, like when he's saying, after getting the power star, now who's gonna stop me? That was very Jack Black. Yeah. I could definitely hear that from him. But yeah, for the most part, anyway, like 90% of the movie, like I could just see Bowser. I did not see Jack Black behind him, apart from him doing his Tenacious D performance.
Yes, him doing Peaches did very much sound like Jack Black. And he could be threatening.
Yes,
that
he
was
could.
The other great. He was genuinely, when he wanted to be threatening, he was very threatening.
Yeah.
My particular favorite was the bit at the piano before he sung Peaches. For like Kamek comes over and he's talking to Kamek and he's like, "Play with me."
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's doing that do 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 do, and Kamek's just like kind of scared to do like. But he was genuinely threatening.
He was,
because even though he was doing that little callback with the do 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 do, it was really threatening voice work, and you just felt like at any moment he was about to just snap and kill somebody. And eventually he does somewhat snap and slam the piano down on Kamek's fingers, but it was just phenomenal work.
But I definitely agree with that. And and there was also another the other moment that like made Bowser seem threatening to me was just as I talked about earlier, the fact that he just threatens to kill Luigi in front of Mario, or rather not in front of Mario, but like he's like, we'll see how this Mario person feels after I kill his brother.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's like we never actually heard
Bowser.
Yeah, we never heard Bowser actually threaten to kill anybody. Like maybe hurt him a bit, but like not straight out murder them, which again probably bumps up the age rating a little bit. But
it was great.
It was great. Yeah, Jack Black phenomenal as Bowser. Please come back.
Yeah, please come back.
Yeah, maybe if Warp becomes a villain or something in the next movie, I'm wondering if there's probably going to be like some sort of brief team up with Mario and Bowser, and then they'll be rivals again.
I feel like it will be Bowser again. I can't imagine it not being him again.
Yeah.
I think what they would need to do is bring Bowser in again, but also so obviously at the end of the movie he's defeated, whatnot, and captured. So I feel like start of the next movie, if they were to do a second one, is Bowser Jr.
Yeah, maybe.
Comes, or one of the Koopa kids, or all of the Koopa kids comes along and breaks him out and gets him back. And then he's you don't need a different villain. Bowser's Bowser.
Yeah.
And it would be really good way to bring in the Koopa kids without having to swap out your villain if they just kind of did it that setup next movie
Yeah.
if they do the movie. Which this has been the highest grossing animated film to date ever, I believe.
Close, but I don't think it is quite yet. It's certainly up there.
It's had the best opening week of any animated film.
Yeah, that was probably where it came from. But
I believe it's on track to be the highest grossing. it's doing insanely well.
It is doing
very well made.
It is. Yeah, it is. I think Frozen is still at the top for highest grossing animated film. But yeah, Mario Brothers movie is certainly getting up there. It's maybe in the top 10, top 5 maybe.
It's got to be very close to the top.
Yeah, it's very, very close. It's extremely high just on the opening weeks alone. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes in maybe a year or so. But yes, that is pretty much all the casting. And it's funny that you mentioned the Koopalings as well. I'm sort of glad they didn't like shove so many Mario characters in here. Like, there's already a fair bit as is, but I'm glad that they left some for the sequel film, if should that ever happen. Let's face it, when that happens.
Yeah, that's good. It's been making way too much money. There's no way we're not getting another one at this point.
Yeah, indeed. If Sonic could get a sequel, I'm sure Mario can too. Yeah. But yeah, it's like I was glad that they didn't shove so many Mario characters in at once, because like we don't have Wario, we don't have the Koopalings, we don't have Rosalina or Daisy. There's room. There's plenty of room for a movie franchise here. Or a Nintendo.
There's another villain you could have. You could have Wario.
Yeah, as you say, we could just make it a whole Nintendo cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And then bring in the Metroid and Link as well, or Samus, I should say. Oh god, I made this.
Did you just call Samus Metroid?
I made the sacrilegious deed. Sacrilegious. Yeah. I made the terrible mistake of calling Samus Metroid, and I'm
jelly brain.
I know my brain must truly not be working.
Wow.
My brain is just too full up of the Resident Evil 4 remake to just think properly.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'll see myself out.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Indeed.
On the note of potential characters to come in, I suppose we should slightly talk about one of the post credits.
Yes, that's actually next on my list here. My notes here. So for the mid credits scene, nothing too special happens. Bowser is just singing on his piano again, and he's been shrunken down. He's eaten a tiny mushroom by the end of the movie, and kept in a glass bottle, which I'm sure has air holes. Somehow,
but he got put in a glass bottle, then put in a cage.
Oh, right. Yes, sorry, I'm misremembering. Nothing too special there. But during the post-credit scene, there's a sweeping shot of like some sort of underground warehouse or something. But
no, it's the sewers that the movie started out in.
Ah, right, okay. But yes, at the very end of the sewers, anyway, is a Yoshi egg. And
and you hear the words.
Yeah, you hear Yoshi say his name. I don't know why that gave me a lot of Kong Skull Island vibes, particularly when it faded to black and you hear the Yoshi.
Yes. It's not quite as badass.
No, not quite as badass. I just don't get why I got Kong Skull Island vibes there just when, Godzilla is announced and you hear the roar afterwards.
It's that same little kind of tingle you get if you're a fan, where you're just like...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I credit that Kong Skull Island credit sequence is the best post credit sequence I've ever seen, just because it was so good.
Yeah.
For hype up the next day, like just the panning to all the different monsters and then the Godzilla roar. I did not quite get that tingle with the Yoshi, but I do get what you mean.
Yeah.
My immediate question was that, is like, we saw a herd of Yoshis earlier. Why is this one special?
Yeah, I wondered that myself.
It's just immediately like, hang on, we already saw Yoshis. How is this supposed to be special?
Yeah, unless as you mentioned, it's in Brooklyn, so I guess was supposed to be the hook. But like,
Maybe.
we're gonna have a Yoshi roaming around New York or something, maybe, and just eating everything.
Yeah, oh, it's going to turn to Godzilla from the 90s.
Yeah,
But,
you know what? That was the other vibe I had. The '98 film with the baby Godzilla coming out of the egg. It's just a lot of weird vibes, weird monster vibes. But
I mean, I'm excited for another movie, I would say.
yeah, I would say so.
And that did, make me think, oh yeah, I'd go and see another one, and I'd love to see Yoshi, and I'd love to see. I would love to have Bowser Jr.
Yo, yeah, for sure.
I don't mind so much about the other Koopa kids. I just want Bowser Jr. because I want the interaction of Bowser and Bowser Jr. and Peach, and Bowser Jr. calling her Mama Peach. I want that interaction. I feel like that'd be just comedy gold.
It would be
if we got to have, because all we ever got was in Mario Sunshine, probably Peach at her ditziest.
Yes.
In that game. Doing just like the Mama Peach. That was it. We could have had comedy gold, Nintendo. So I really hope we get Bowser Jr. just for that alone in a second movie. So I'm hoping what they end up doing, if they do a second one, which they probably will, is I think it should be Rosalina should be in it. It should be all about Galaxy. So you could practically rip the plot to Galaxy if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And, Bowser's back after Bowser Jr. breaks him out. Maybe have Peach actually kidnapped. Not necessarily damsel in distress levels, but like she is kidnapped and she's kind of fighting her way back while Mario's also fighting his way to her. I feel like would be a good setup. And obviously you get Yoshi in. Let Luigi do some stuff.
Yeah,
Not do Petey Piranha dirty.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the numerous cameos in the wedding, and like we did not see a single ounce of Petey Piranha.
Yeah, where was Petey Piranha?
And they killed King Babam as well.
Yeah, we got King Babam. That was awesome to see King Babam. We got King Boo was there, also awesome to see. And then, Petey. Where's our boy?
Yeah.
Where's our boy Petey? I want. Why is Petey Piranha always on the sidelines?
# break free Petey.
Yeah, bring back Petey.
But yeah,
maybe if we do Galaxy, we'll get Petey. Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, King Babam's death is also added to the kill count as well. I forgot about him. Yeah,
I did see a review somebody left where it was like 3 stars. And they said like they lost 2 stars for killing my boy King Babam.
Oh,
it was sad to see him.
Yeah, it was sad. He looked so sad as well. It was really depressing.
Oh, poor King Babam.
Yeah.
What would you want for a sequel?
Yeah, I would say definitely bring in Bowser Jr. or the Koopalings. I think much like you as well. Or at the very least, maybe say again.
I think Koopalings would be too many.
Maybe, but
they have so many personalities. It's like how do you get? Was it 7 kids done right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wario could be the next villain, just to be sort of like a polar opposite of Mario. Yeah, and bring in like Waluigi as well, just to give Luigi something to do. And I should say as well with the climax, I was very going back to Luigi real quick. I was very glad to see him get to do something in the final battle. Like,
they made him so scared for most of it they didn't get to do anything until the finale.
Yeah, and he just got captured for most of it. Again, very close to being burned as well. I was wondering why the metal bars and the lava wasn't like heating up his hands or whatever, but cartoon stuff. But yeah, I was very glad to see that he actually got something to do but in the final battle, which only makes me think they're gonna just regress his character again and just make him cowardly by the second movie.
I hope not, but it is Illumination. So.
Yes.
And sequels are not their strong suit because they always they'll like take the elements that they thought worked best, which is almost usually the comedy, and then they'll just amp it up to the point that it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just hoping that Shigeru Miyamoto is going to stay on and keep working with them, and maybe that will kind of stop them from going too far in other directions, because they'll be there to be like, hey, well, hang on.
Yeah. I hope so too.
Don't destroy my creation, please. Although he did allow Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, so I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't speak English, so like, he probably doesn't
even
learning.
Huh? He's been learning.
I don't even think he even knows who Seth Rogen is.
Well, well, I imagine he would if he hired him.
I guess.
Um,
Well, I mean,
he has,
it's not really down to him. I think it's down to the casting directors.
well, well, he's involved in the
Well, yeah, I know,
process.
but I think he's
The
only.
producer gets the option to
Hmm.
go.
But again, he probably doesn't even know who Seth Rogen is, so he's probably like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
I feel like the guy casting would probably know who he's casting.
Yeah,
He's not. I doubt he'd be like, yeah, just sure, fine, whatever. Cast this rando as
yeah.
for my character.
I don't know. I'm
I
not
imagine he would have done his due diligence.
I'm not in the mind of Shigeru Miyamoto. So,
Yeah.
um, but yes. So what I would like to see in a sequel, yes. Maybe have Wharton as a cameo, maybe just maybe as a side villain to Bowser, possibly bring back Petey for God's sake, and maybe have a little bit of a Luigi's Mansion cameo as well, like have Luigi go through like his own little adventure or something, like he's trying to.
We had so little in the way of booze. We didn't have any aside from King Boo, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So it'd be nice to actually get the booze in.
There were
Or
no
have a mansion bit.
there were no thwomps either,
No thwomps, no
yeah,
womps
or pokies.
or pokies.
Yeah, there's a lot of enemies that they haven't used yet, but yeah, I think Luigi should maybe go through like his little adventure, maybe in the next movie. Like maybe he's wanting to prove that he can be just as good as Mario or something, and so he finds his haunted mansion and kickstart the Luigi's Mansion plot, and maybe get Professor Egad in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Donkey Kong,
Well,
I would maybe want to see less of.
I feel like
I feel like
he's done his bit.
yeah, exactly. I think he served his purpose. We don't need the Kong Island subplot anymore. Maybe Toad can have a little bit more to do as well, like actually establish if it's Captain Toad or not, and have him go on his little adventure, which I get would be sort of like plot overload at that point. We'd be entering Spider-Man 3 territory, which is too many plot lines. But there's some things they can do. There's a lot of room for sequels and the whole franchise. So like they got like the next several movies filled out, pretty much laid out for them.
There are so many ways they could go.
Yeah, exactly. And I look forward to seeing what they do come up with. So we did mention the humor a few times in the movie, but is there anything else that we should comment on? Some bits of humor we did like, some bits we didn't.
Other than the slow-mo, no.
Yeah,
I mean, I found generally every joke either landed or was so quick and like insignificant that you could just move on from it.
yeah,
To the point I don't remember any particularly bad ones off the top of my head. Like there was no point where I was like, ugh. It was always pretty fun. Aside from, like I mentioned, Donkey Kong doing his flexing of the pecs and everything, and anything Cranky Kong said ever. There was nothing in particular where I was just like, ugh.
yeah,
So I found the comedy just in general pretty stable, and everybody got a bit of something.
yeah,
I don't think there was a single character that had a joke. Sorry, there wasn't a single character that didn't get a good joke in some form or fashion. Peach got some good stuff. Mario got some good stuff. Luigi got some good stuff. Bowser, obviously, amazing. Phenomenal. Even Donkey Kong got his stuff like the Now You Die.
mm.
Everybody got a little something.
Just not Cranky Kong.
It's just not Cranky Kong. Toad got some. I like Peach. There's a bit when they open the door to the Kong City, and Peach and the gorilla that answers the door just opens up and screams at them, and Peach is immediately ready in like fighting stance, in like the karate chop pose, ready to go, and like this face. Yeah, as I thought everybody got a little something, and it was really nice to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the comedy was like absolutely laugh out loud funny for the most part. I maybe get like a smirk at most, and I think it's just because it's either because like Illumination maybe plays it a little too safe, or maybe I'm just too old now at this point. I did just turn 28 like last week or nearly a week ago. So yeah, I'm probably just way out of the age range now, but I wouldn't say the comedy was like cringy for the most part. Some jokes were like, particularly with Cranky Kong, but like not all of them. And I think the only time I was really taken out of it was the licensed music, which again, are not necessarily jokes, but it's like there's supposed to be, stuff you recognize, like or kids recognize, I should say, and it's just like, ugh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
and the slow mo shots as well. I really did not like that. But yeah, the comedy was serviceable. I thought not outstanding, but it was serviceable. Like you could show it to your kid, and it would not rot their brain at all, I would say.
No, it's a good solid movie. I think there's right now at least there's a lot of like critics are ripping it apart, and then my
Yes.
audience are like it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose we'll go straight to our final thoughts with this then, because I think we've said pretty much all we can. So yeah, well, as Jude mentioned, yeah, these stuffy old critics are definitely not going to like this movie very much. It is very much made for kids and Mario fans of old throughout the past 35 years, which includes myself and Jude. And I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie. I liked it more than the Sonic movie, but then again, I am not a particularly big Sonic fan. But even still, even looking past that, I feel like Sonic just tried to play it even more safe than Mario did somehow, like by just bringing it into the real world and just not barely having anything to do with Sonic at all. Whereas this one was definitely a love letter to Mario fans and just the Mario universe in general. Like it does its damnedest to try and just make it feel like a Mario movie, a Mario game coming to life, basically. And it, for the most part, it worked. It worked incredibly well. It's just basically one big roller coaster ride, and that is not meant to be anything deep or complex. It's a very much a popcorn movie that you can just sit down and just enjoy the ride from start to finish. And again, not every joke lands, and some of the characters and whatnot may feel a little bit different compared to what we're used to in the Mario universe. But I think for a kids movie and for a Mario movie in particular, it's highly entertaining, and I would very much recommend it. And it just absolutely kicks the 1993 movie's ass. But what about yourself, Jude?
Yeah, same. um, uh, I I really enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't mind watching it again when it comes out on streaming or whatever. It's a really nice, fun thing just to have on. And like you say, for Nintendo fans, especially if you've been a long time Nintendo fan like we have, it's a bit of a love letter to the series, and it's just really nice to see. Ignore the critics, please, for the love of
Yes.
God. I just double checked it because it's always fluctuating. Right now, Rotten Tomatoes, 58% critic rating,
Jesus.
96% audience score. Critics are ripping it apart for no good reason. They're just going in thinking it's supposed to be some fine art film, piece of perfection artwork and whatnot. And it's not what it's supposed to be. It's not what it's for. And as I think that the audience score reflects that, it's at 96%.
I was kind of shocked to see that Nintendo Life even gave it a somewhat sort of
Yeah,
middling score, even though they of all people know that it's not supposed to be fine art.
yeah, exactly. Just go in with a nice, like, just go in with the mindset. It's not gonna be super complex. It's just something to watch that will that you can shut your brain off if you're a Nintendo Mario fan, anything like that. There's something for you in it. It's just a really solid movie, I'd say, and it could have been a lot worse given the '93 movie.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of things that could have gone really wrong with it, especially even just with the casting. There's a lot that could have gone wrong with the people that they chose, and it all came together. It all worked great. And if you enjoy Bowser then as a character, then you'll probably like this movie. So, give it a go if you haven't watched it and you've just listened to all these spoilers. And if you did watch it, I think let us know what you thought of it. We're always
Yep.
interested to hear. We want to hear what you thought of it. Are you on the side of the critics or are you on the side of the audiences? Out of 5 stars, I would give it a 4, maybe 4.5.
Yeah, I would say 4 is generous enough for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I would definitely say this is Illumination's. So far, it's their best work anyway. Out of what I have seen.
I would say so, having seen their others.
Yeah, this is coming from me who's just not who's not seen a whole lot of Illumination, but yes, from what I have seen, this feels like the least Illumination film out there. Like, they actually took a few risks here, which I appreciate that for, particularly with the casting, which, as you said, Jude, could have gone so horribly wrong, but they definitely carefully chose the right people. And even when it came to like the Easter eggs and the building the world and stuff, they definitely did their homework on it, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah. The world building is phenomenal. For one, like there's just so much going on everywhere, and you could watch the movie 2 or 3 times, probably not catch everything.
Yeah.
It was just really phenomenal. I loved how they did the warp pipes. That's something we didn't really talk about. The warp pipes is they like send you to some like cosmic land,
Oh yeah.
and then actually go through to where you're going. But I thought that was kind of a fun way they interpreted the warp pipes.
Yeah.
For something that would have been very difficult to interpret, they did a very good job to take the time to think through it and come up with something that was visually stunning and creative. So honestly, fantastic work all around by the Illumination team, I'd say, and Nintendo. I hope we get to see another one, and that it's even better than this one. And we get another song from Jack Black.
Yes. Maybe. Yes, we'll get like a whole album by the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole album with Bowser. Yeah. Why not?
That'd be amazing.
But yes, with all that in mind, thank you very much for tuning in and just listening to our thoughts on the Mario movie. And as Jude said, if you have any thoughts yourself, please do put a comment down below. Tell us what you think and where you would score the Mario movie and just your general thoughts on it. So, no idea when exactly we're going to be doing another one of these podcasts. It's probably not going to be a regular thing. Cause this is just a very special occasion because this is a video game based movie, and obviously
we're very much fans of Mario.
Yeah, we're big fans of Mario, and obviously my channel is more game than movie. I've only ever done like a couple movies throughout my channel. But I do plan on maybe doing the Mario movie as a full Trash or Treasure video. I think it'd be kind of cool to do another movie because I haven't done it since I haven't done one since like 2014. So yeah, I should hopefully turn out well. But yeah, and I'm surprised to see that we've gotten as much as we have done because we're currently at around an hour 38 according to the time here, not including editing. Which thankfully I don't think I have to do a whole lot of. I think we got our points across pretty well. But yeah, we've gone about as long as the movie itself, it seems. It probably including the credits too. But yeah, just shows how much there is to talk about with this 90-minute movie. But yes, with all said and done, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will hopefully see you next time.